Hello, welcome to another episode of EPMS Tech Talk. I'm Chris Costa.
And I'm Joanne LaFlamme.
So Joanne, what do you think we should cover tonight?
Well, I thought maybe we could talk about the situation where you may create or need to create a prepayment for a purchase order and how you handle that workflow.
Okay, yeah, it's a good topic. We can certainly look at that. Just a quick overview. So basically we can explain how to record the payment in AP, linking it to the purchase order, which will create the prepayment against that PO specifically so that when you do invoice it later on, the system will then automatically have it linked together. And behind the scenes, the system will apply the payment against the invoice.
Sounds good. Let's take a look.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
I'll start by going into purchasing and just show you the PO that we'll work with. So I've got 2073 here. If I click the receive icon, notice I haven't received anything yet. You know, a lot of times I see this workflow come in where, you know, you'll want to make the payment ahead of time, you know, ahead of even when the materials have even come in yet.
Okay.
So we've recorded the PO. We won't receive it. And what I'll do is I'll leave purchasing and we'll go into AP and record that payment. All right, so I've got a payment batch open. We'll add our payment. Okay, and let's say we're just going to put $500. And so what we can do is we can pull down on the PO number here and tag it to a specific purchase order. Just hit select line. Of course, it just assigns the PO number. I'll indicate how we're going to pay. And then I'm just going to save it. There's nothing to apply here. Okay, we haven't obviously put in an invoice. There's no need to put in an invoice. All we're doing is applying it to that PO number.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just going to save it. The system will alert you that there's an unallocated amount. We can just acknowledge. And of course you want to post it like you normally would. Okay. And then from there, so we've basically applied that prepayment. It's sitting there in the system against that purchase order number. So now we can receive the materials and create the supplier invoice and have that payment applied already.
Okay, sounds good. Can we take a look at that whole part of receiving the materials and doing the invoice?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll go back to purchasing. Oops. And so 2073, receive. And so now I can receive the materials. Okay, again, the prepayment likely would happen before this step, so now we're ready to receive the materials. I'll indicate everything received in full. And we'll go back to AP now to create the supplier's invoice. Okay. Punch in my invoice number. And the key here is obviously when you're creating the invoice, you want to be sure to link it back to that purchase order. All right, so I'm just going to select the receipt data. And you want to make this invoice for the full amount, even though we did create the prepayment and we're only going to pay, you know, $3,700 in this case. You still want to make the invoice for $42 because the system's going to knock $500 off.
Okay, great.
Okay, that's automatically behind the scenes already set up. Okay, so we'll make the invoice for the full amount. We'll save it. And we do want to go ahead and post it. And like I said, automatically the system, if you go back and now look at that invoice, has automatically been reduced by that $500.
Okay, great.
Okay, so there's nothing, no extra secondary step to apply that at any point.
So when I go to do the receipt on that, I just pay the $3,700 and it will clean out
Exactly.
the
Correct.
invoice.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Okay. Anything else? Any other questions?
That was great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, thanks for watching. This was another episode of EPMS Tech Talk. I'm Chris Costa.
And I'm Joanne LaFlamme.
Please look forward for more to come.